is Sugared Elephant. It is Wednesday, April 12th, I believe. I never know what the date is. I can tell you what day of the week it is. I don't know why. I just never know what the date is. I think it's the 12th. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today was how you offer support to those in your close circle of family and or friends regarding their spiritual practice. And what I mean by offer support is, what kinds of things do you do that is directly related to their spiritual practice, if any? And I'm fully aware that there are some people still in the broom closet, so you may not receive absolutely any support from your family and friends. I would definitely love to hear still how you offer support. Some of you may feel obligated to do certain things or feel forced just so that people don't find out that you're on a different spiritual path. But for the most part, if you're out and you are from, maybe you're from a Catholic family, or maybe you're from a mix like myself. We have a great big old mix of spiritual beliefs in my family, with the people that are most closest to me. I've seen tons of discussions out there regarding interfaith relationships and how that works for many in the pagan community. Also, the kind of support that you've received maybe when you came out, or just in general. There's been a lot of vlogs, and a lot of vlogs are showing interaction with family members, so that gives us a little peek inside that. However, I've personally not seen very many discussions regarding what it is that you do to offer support to that person who is on a different spiritual path than you. I think maybe for myself, the only video I think I've seen is by Lady Grave Dancer. I think there was a video in there that she talked about how she supports her spouse's very different spiritual beliefs. I can't remember how long ago that was, to be honest with you, so I wouldn't even know where to look to find the link. But anyway, for me, how I offer support to my different family members, because everybody's different. So you have me, who is pagan and has been forever and ever and ever. And I've had that discussion with my kids when they were old enough to understand. And, I've let them know that they don't have to believe what I believe, yada, yada, the whole speech thing, let you choose, blah, blah, blah. For the most part, most of my family members are Catholic. My close, tight-knit group of family and friends that I spend most of my time with is a pretty big mix. So my oldest is atheist. My youngest he believes in something or everything or a lot of things, but not quite sure. So he has no problem supporting absolutely anybody in anything. He's up for just about anything, which I think is pretty fabulous. My dad is atheist. He identifies as atheist, and the rest of my family is Catholic. So one of the reasons why this, it's one of those days. One of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this is I had a baptism recently, and it's been years since I've had to go to a baptism, but there were some pretty damn cranky people there, and I'm not going to name any names, and they don't watch these videos anyway, but still, there were some pretty cranky people there, and you know what? I just don't get it. I guess, because I don't have a problem with it. Now, I will not attend church service with my mom. My mom goes to church service every week. I will not attend mass. I don't, I don't do Lent. I don't I don't do any of that stuff. I will not bow my head in the Lord's Prayer, any of that kind of stuff. I will not do the cross, take a communion wafer. I won't do any of those things at any service that I attend. However, I don't, how best to explain this? I'm respectful and I'm polite. So for instance, at the baptism, when we're asked to rise, I rise. When we're asked to be seated, I sit. I stand politely with my hands clasped in front of me and I pay attention. It was a very quick, and it was actually a very lovely service. I don't remember half of what was said because there were 10 baptisms. 10! I wasn't aware that they did multiple baptisms at once. I think the last time I even attended a baptism, they were only doing them one at a time, but there was 10. So it was actually very quick. It went very quickly. And like I said, I didn't, do the whole cross. I did not bow my head in prayer, but I was respectful and I was quiet. I didn't outright refuse. I didn't need to leave the room, and go out in the lobby, nothing like that. Because, the kids were happy. This is what they wanted. Whether or not I agree with it, it was really more of a chance for everybody to get together because, the service was short compared to the reception after. And there were so many of us. And there was people that flew in from out of town for my daughter-in-law's family. So my daughter-in-law is Catholic and my son is, well, you know what? I think he probably identifies as atheist. I think more or less he's agnostic. He's changed a lot since he's, had a family of his own. But he doesn't care either way. And he's not so strongly against it that he wouldn't do that for the mother of his child. So he had no problem doing that. And he was happy. To him, it was more of, it's something that she wanted to do. It's a part of her faith. It's a part of her culture. It's a very, very big deal and very important thing for her. And she's not super religious. She doesn't, go to church all the time. However, when they bought their new house, for instance, she had the house blessed, and there was a whole big ceremony around that. And you know what? I whether or not I agree with that, I don't have a problem with her doing that, or with them doing that, or with my mother going to church. Whether or not I agree with it, it doesn't have anything to do with me, right? Your spiritual beliefs, that is for you and you alone. It is a very personal thing. So I don't have a problem with that. Regardless, I don't agree with, I didn't baptize my kids because I wanted to leave that choice up to them, and because I just don't believe in that. I don't have a problem with anybody else doing it. And like I said, it was a really, really short, lovely ceremony, and the reception was amazing. It was all about family and food and getting together and more or less, seeing all the babies dressed up, and they were so adorable. That's mostly what that day was for me. I also won't bow my head and say grace. I will not, however, rudely stand up and ask to be excused or leave the room. I personally think that's rude. I can understand why some people might feel that need, depending on what their beliefs are. But my mother now, for instance, and it may not seem much, it may not seem like much support at all, but my mother needed a booklet. I think it's a rosary prayer booklet. I think that's what it was. It's a little booklet, maybe about yay big, and I can't even remember how many pages were in it. Anyway, you know what? I have no problems printing that out for her, making that up for her, binding it. I have no problems fixing her rosary beads. I will even buy her saint medals and her rosary beads for gifts, because That's what she loves. And she'll bring me a rosary if it breaks, or if there was a missing bead and I have something matching. I have no problems doing those. And like I said, to some people that might not seem like much, but I think that that is support. That's me supporting my family member regarding their spiritual practice when it's something that I don't believe in. And I get that same mutual respect and support back. My mother makes me stuff all the time for my practice. She makes things for my shop. So does my daughter-in-law. My daughter-in-law is Catholic, and she knows who she is, and she's very strong in her faith and her beliefs, but she's also very, very open to everyone else's beliefs. She's into crystals, and like I said, she makes bracelets for my shop with different, basically different, different witchy things. So there's that mutual respect. Now, I'm aware it's not that easy for everybody, and everybody's situation is completely different. I myself could not surround myself with people who were intolerant. That's me, though. I think it's because it's just how I was raised, and where I am has a lot to do with it as well. Like when I hear that people are in the broom closet, I still can't wrap my head around that. I understand why. People fear for losing jobs or having their kids affected, and I understand that. I guess that I still can't wrap my head around it because I've never been in, and I never would be, and I would never have to fear for my job. I am in a very, very culturally, diverse, religious, spiritual, diverse school. I don't have to hide my pentacle. I don't have to hide who I am, and that's the way it should be. So, especially in North America. I mean, come on, really. I get other places, I can totally see why. But in North America, there's absolutely no reason for that. However, now I'm just off on a whole completely different topic. Like I said, I know that everybody's situation is different, and maybe for some of you it's not like that. And maybe some of you do partake in certain religious practices that you really, really don't want to, but you feel obligated to for a family member, or maybe you don't want to start family trouble or whatever. I would love to hear what you think about that, or how it is that you offer support, if any, to your loved ones. So go ahead and please leave me a comment in the comment section. Even better, if you could leave me a video response, that would be fantastic, with a link. I would love to see that. Like I said, it was quite a mix last weekend. To me, it was just like, okay, you know what? First of all, this is not even something that is going to really directly affect me for the rest of my life. This is not, it's not my thing. So I don't see what the problem was for some people attending the church service, but I mean, whatever, right? Everybody's different. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. I'm going to have some DIY wine cork charm talismans, or protection charms, wine cork protection charms. They're really, really simple and easy to do. I'm probably going to have some in my shop, but for those of you that want to make them yourself, a lot of times all you need is scraps for a lot of the DIYs that I do, and they're really, really simple to do. So anyway, I'm going to have that coming up again. Please leave me a comment letting me know your take on how to offer support to other family members that are on a different spiritual path than you, or even better, again, a video response. So everybody have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.